Welcome, Coaches Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi, and welcome our guest from the Pittsburgh Tribune, sports writer Jerry DePaula. Jerry, let's take a look at Little City basketball. You do a great job covering Pitt and Duquesne. Let's talk first of all about Pitt and first-year coach Jeff Capel, 12-8, 2-5 in the ACC game tonight at Clemson. Your impressions, first-year Coach Capel?
Well, you know what? One thing about Jeff Capel, I'll say, is that he's kind of a bigger guy with a booming voice, so he has a presence. When he walks into a room, he seems to almost take charge of that room. And I can just imagine, what he does in a huddle and what he does, in the locker room, and what he does when he walks into a kid's living room to recruit him. He seems to be. Of course, he knows basketball. He played basketball at the highest level with Duke. He coached at the highest level with VCU, Oklahoma, and at Duke as an assistant coach. At Coach K's, right hand. He was Coach K's right hand man, and he just seems like he has. He just knows exactly how to build a program. I mean, you learned from Coach K. How would he not know, right?
Jerry, there's a lot of energy that he's brought back to the program. He's done a good job recruiting with the backcourt with McGowans and Xavier Johnson. Where do you see him going? What does he need? You've watched him play quite a bit. How much are they lacking up in the front?
Yeah, big time. I mean, they really have to get a big time offensive presence in the paint, which they don't have right now. And they have two guys, Terrell Bryan and Kenny Chukwuka, who work their butts off and really are good, hard-working kids. But they don't seem to have much of a scoring touch. Now, Brown is a very good shot blocker. One of the best in the ACC, actually. But it seems like when him and Chukwuka get the ball down low, they either bobble it or they miss the shot. And that's happened a lot lately, I believe, and that's probably the reason they went into Clemson on Tuesday, last Tuesday, with a 2-5 record.
2-5, and they've struggled so much on the road. I know that's not unusual, but they're 0-5 on the road this year, and it just seems like when they go on the road, their shooting just goes cold on them.
Yeah, and that happens to a lot of teams in college basketball. But you also have to understand this is a very young Pitt team. They start 3 freshmen, and you don't find many Power 5 schools who start 3 freshmen every night, night after night after night. Audie Tony is the third guy, who's been a very good defensive presence and a little bit of help on Ben. But these are young kids, and they reclassified. They could have been in high school for another year, but here they are playing college basketball in the ACC against the likes of Duke and Zion Williamson and North Carolina, and teams that are experienced, and it's just very difficult for a team with that many freshmen, that many young guys, that had such a makeover, almost 100% makeover from last season, and where they're coming from. And remember, this team was winless, 0-19 in the ACC last season. It's very difficult, to turn it around just like that when you're 0-19 and you try to become a contender in the conference. Before the season started, I was talking about them maybe winning 4 or 5 games in the ACC, and they seem to be on pace for that, actually.
Hey, Jerry, let's move across over the way to Duquesne, second-year coach Keith Dam brought the Dukes in a 4-way tie for third place in the A-10. They're 14-6, 5-2. They could be a solid second place, but I don't think they've ever beaten Virginia Commonwealth. What has Keith Dam brought done in his second year? Seems to get the Dukes headed in the right direction.
Well, he has even a bigger roster makeover than Jeff Capel had. There's only one guy left from last season's team, and that's Eric Williams. Unless I'm forgetting somebody. Because Kellen Taylor, the football player who was playing basketball, decided a couple weeks ago just to concentrate on football. And then Mike Lewis, the junior guard, who had played so well his first 2 years at Duquesne, decided to transfer. So Keith has put together a very competitive team. Every game they played, I think 9 of the last 10 games they've played since the middle of December were decided by 6 points or less, and they won 6 of those 9. He's done a good job getting the culture back, getting Hughes and Marcus Weathers. But I probably need another one because he lost Austin Rothroth, his freshman big man for the season, with a knee injury. And then on Saturday, you mentioned they lost last Saturday. They lost to VCU. They did that, and they lost by a few points without Sincere Carey. There's a freshman point guard who D'Ambrose says is one of the toughest kids he's ever coached. And remember, he also coached LeBron James. So without Carey, who was supposed to play Wednesday night against Rhode Island, without him, the team is just not the same. And he's only a freshman, but he runs his show from the point and isn't a bad shooter, too.
Hey, Jerry, it's been a long time since we could say that out of the city of Pittsburgh, the team with the best chance to make the NCAA tournament would be Duquesne.
Well, I guess they do have a better chance at Pitt just because they play in the A-10 and they don't play in the ACC. Remember, Pitt defeated Duquesne this year. Even last year they defeated Duquesne under Kevin Stallings. So Duquesne's going to have a hard time making it to the NCAA tournament this year, I believe. I don't think they're one of the top three teams in the A-10. I don't think the A-10 typically takes more than three teams into the NCAA tournament. But they'll be there soon.
Hey, Jerry, I want to finish up talking about Pitt football. You're always there covering Pitt. There's difference of opinion. The progress this year, 7-7, Coastal Division champs, 12-14 the last 2 years, but 10-14 against Division I. Where are you looking at this program under Narduzzi heading into his fifth year?
Well, I think Pat Narduzzi did well to win the Coastal Division championship this season, and that wasn't an easy thing to do. The Coastal Division is typically down, compared to some other conferences around the country. And they did, they did beat Virginia Tech, which was down, and Wake Forest was a program on the rise. They beat them on the road. But you finished 7-7, and you ended up with a 3-game losing streak to end the season. Losing to Miami in a game they weren't even competitive again to a team that really wasn't that good, except for a half-decent pass rush. They got blown out by Clemson in the championship game. That's understandable. But you think they would have played a little better in the bowl game. They lost to Stanford, a kind of a fluke touchdown that Stanford scored. It was a low-scoring game. But they really had no offensive punch in either of those 3 games to end the season. And that's a problem, especially when you're touting Kenny Pickett to be, a savior at quarterback and got some experience on the offensive line. But it never really came together, all 3 phases. The offensive line, the wide receiver group, and the quarterback never really came together, especially against the top-notch opponents. And that's what he's going to need next season. He's going to need a better offensive line, and he has a transfer coming in from Michigan. A kid who didn't play very much at Michigan, no one Ulizio, but at least he's a guy that has some experience because they lost all their seniors off that offensive line. When you got to replace 80% of your offensive line, that's not a good thing.
Hey, Jerry, I want to pick up on this. Come the fall, I want to get you back on. We're going to take a look at Pitt's upcoming season. Always good to hear from you. Stay warm.
You know me, Ed. Call anytime.
Thanks, Jerry. I'll be right back with Ellen George. I'm back, joined to my right by the Swami George Abraham, to the left, the Tiger Albert Campman. Let's go to high school basketball. Top scorers, 20 points plus. Nathan Waltman of Karn City, 33. Ethan Morton of Butler, 30 and 29. Dan Petcash, Pine Richton, 29. Elijah White, Portersville Christian, 28. Isaac DiGregorio, North Catholic, 27 and 21. Tavon Johnson, Summit Academy, 26. Someone told me they've watched Tavon play, and he's a tremendous player for Summit.
Summit has some really good players.
Yes.
Summit Academy has some good players.
Jackson Pascal of North Catholic, 23. Gage McElvey of Beaver Falls, 22. Garrett Schaffhauser of Freeport, 22. Mike Uzzolino of North Allegheny, 22. Gage Neal, Montauk, 21. Sheldon Cox of Newcastle, 21. That was against Ambridge. Andrew Recchia of Mars, 21. Mitch Houston of Slippery Rock High School, 21. Kyle Pols, Pine Richland, 21. Greg Shulkowski of Pine Richland, 20. Michael Wells of Newcastle, 20. And Nathan Collo of Vincentian, 20. For the girls, Kylie Lewandowski, North Catholic, 30. Dominique Logue of Union Reimersburg, 29. Kendall Gessner of Pine Richland, 26. Kristen Auville of Montauk, 23. Lizzie Grosh of North Allegheny, she had 22. Cammie McInerney, AC Valley, 22. Ty Johnson of Mars, 21. Bella Palaya of Mars, 21. And Sidney Shemansky of Freeport, 20. College men basketball, Joel Stutz, BC3, 22 points. Now 1,089 career points. That's the third best in BC3 history. Jordan Stager, BC3, 22. Mike Attil, Slip Rock University, 25 and 20. John Warren, the second of the Rock, 25. And Jared Armstrong of the Rock, 22. The Rock has now won 12 straight games. They're 14 and 5, 11 and 1. And to finish by saying this, that Kevin Reynolds, it's finally been resolved. He's finished officially at Slip Rock University. I'll say this, I've always enjoyed Kevin. Thought he did a fantastic job and built that program and made them a contender every year.
Great coach. Understood Slippery Rock how to get players to fit into the number of scholarships they had, and left Coach Grady a great team, and Coach Grady's done this tremendous job building on it.
We just wish him the best for
George talks to
Coach
Kevin all the time, so George's really close with him.
He'll do well wherever he goes, and you have to take your hats off to the job Ian Grady's done.
Done a tremendous job. Mars grad John Costello, a junior at Shippensburg University, he reached 1,000 career points. He just had a brilliant career there.
That guy at Chip figured it out. There's talent out here, and he gets it. He's had Montour players, Mars players. He has a kid from Latrobe. That's smart.
You get another player there. You get another player there at Mars, Recchia.
Without a doubt.
Someone's going to get him. He's a solid player.
Notice the common ground. Georgia's those schools win, and you're going to there's a reason why these schools win. The players are good. If you're 2-22, it's hard to say that that player's 1,000-point scorer is a great player.
Yes.
Usually a great player will take his team the other way, be like 18 and 4.
Hey, you know what? There's something to that. As a matter of fact, over there, Westminster was struggling early. My one buddy said to me, he said, "You ever notice all their guys are off of losing teams?"
Yes. It's not good. It's not good.
College women, BC3, Mackenzie Craig out of Corn City, 21 points, and now a new school record of 1,102 points. She surpasses Julia Baxter.
Boy, there have been some scores from that school on our show. Jeez.
That one girl from the KSEC just went over 1,000 at the Rock too. They
yes,
done well.
I'm going to mention that next. Casey Kretzer of BC3, 26, and you're talking about Brooke Hinderleiter, Slippery Rock University, 21, over 1,000 career points.
Terrific.
And Sierra Patterson, Slippery Rock University, she had 21 points.
But that's also. Isn't that a 2-year place?
Yes, 2 years.
I thought when I'm listening to that, this dude's over 1,000. It's a 2-year school.
Yeah,
he's firing.
He and his brother Jace, they're just tremendous players. They have motors that won't stop. They're really going to help some school out next year.
They've always loved the game since they're little guys. Yeah. I've heard about them when they're little guys. Yeah. They love the practice. I love guys that love to practice.
And Geneva's in bad need of guards. They're losing every close game.
Well, they get those two kids, they'll help.
Really would, because Moose has 2 years left.
Yep.
High school track and high school wrestling. Butler's Jack Cotterspot, a new school record in the pole vault at the Tri-State meet at Edinburgh University. 15 feet 1 inch. He's one of the top pole vaulters in the state. And then the next night, at Sharon High School, he recorded his 100th career mat victory.
What a great...
Not a bad weekend.
Yeah, some upper body strength in that boy.
You think? Hey, 15, that's really... Am I right?
That's 15
feet.
That's really
unbelievable.
That's very good.
You get hurt falling that far. I fall in the bathtub, I worry.
And how about this accomplishment? Butler's Laura Gettler in swimming. She broke the North Allegheny pool record in the 100 breaststroke. How about that accomplishment?
Well,
not just any place.
When you say North Allegheny, that's why.
Yeah, it wasn't out back.
It wasn't out back.
That's great.
And Seneca Valley wrestlers, they won their second straight Section 3 championship with a 56-18 win over North Allegheny. There was a time, all you had to do was stamp beginning of the season, NA, NA, NA for like 20 years straight. And Seneca Valley has changed that culture.
How about that score?
56-18. Now here's why. Raider wrestlers, Dylan Campbell, 113 pounds, and Alejandro Herrera Rondon, 120 pounds. They are ranked first in the state in their respective weight classes. Memory serves me right. Herrera Rondon was state champ last year.
Well, we always root for the locals, and those are individual sports that you don't blame anybody else. You point at yourself. I love those kind of sports that you go out and take the risk every night.
56. A few
18.
pins there.
And then Butler finished third following a 34-33 loss to North Allegheny. Let's go to our high school basketball power rankings. We're getting down here, moving in the final games of section play, and we have some big matchups coming up. Boys in 6A, number 1, Upper St. Clair, followed by Pine Richland, Mount Lebanon, Butler, Latrobe, and Alderdice. And you have a showdown game tonight with number 2, Pine Richland, at number 4, Butler. Their first matchup, Pine Richland won 79-74 in a game in which Ethan Morton scored 51.
We don't want to write that script, but we've seen it before. First half, Butler up by 12. End of the game, Pine wins by about 5 or 6. That's been the script.
It's happened so many times.
Yes.
And you heard on Spotlight how many 3 different Pine Richland players over 20 points.
Right.
That's what makes them so tough.
Yes.
You could stop one of them and still lose.
In 5A, number 1 is undefeated Moon, followed by Mars. Mars 17-1, and now a new state ranking. They're number 1 ranked in the state.
Got beat last night, the girls.
The girls got beat for the second time by Franklin Regional, and they got knocked out of our rankings, as you'll see. Penn Hills number 3, Woodland Hills 4, Chartiers Valley 5. This is another tough section here in 5A. And then in 4A, Newcastle, Quaker Valley, Uniontown, Ringgold, and Knock. Last week, Ambridge, or 2 weeks ago, they knocked off Quaker Valley, and after that, they lost 3 out of 4. I was at the game Friday night at Newcastle, and Canes ran them off the court 69-49. I was telling Albert, when I saw them warm up, I said, what a size disadvantage. Ambridge is so much bigger, but the Canes were ferocious on
allow
defense.
them to jump? Were they allowed to jump?
Attacked the glass. And here's what they did. They shut off the passing lanes. They just shut it. They stole ball after ball after ball.
What a misleading stat is in high school.
Yeah.
Height.
Size. Height is so misleading in high school. It means 0, because normally there's 6'5" or 6'6" can't jump. Now, when you see a 6'5" or 6 guy that can play, then that score wouldn't be like that.
And you know this, I was telling them last night, that tradition at Newcastle, the way they do, it's been the same since the days of Connie Plumbo, the great atmosphere and intensity there, the
great gym.
pep band there, and all these guys, old guys, walk in 70, they have their Newcastle jackets on.
Yeah.
That is fun.
There's
That is
no
good.
place, no
You got to
place
go to
like
Cedars
it.
afterwards. You think you were at the game. It's just,
I told you my favorite place when you were coaching.
Yeah,
and
without a doubt.
To do a game. That's when that lady come up to me that she heard me say in the radio,
the
we're headed to
Bronx
the
Zoo or
Bronx Zoo, and she's waiting for me with her umbrella. And she said, well, you caught us a bunch of animals over here. And I tried to tell her it was a compliment.
The 4A is going to be interesting because Hermitage has the best team, Hickory.
Well, here's tonight. You have Newcastle at Quaker Valley, and another big game. You have Highlands at Knock, an important game.
Yeah, those are all important games. You're trying to get seeding for the playoffs.
But you don't want Quaker or
right off the bat,
Newcastle, or you're out.
Let's go to 3A. Lincoln Park, number 1 still. They had their 83-game winning streak in section play stopped by the Quips, who then proceeded to lose a couple of games after they knocked off Lincoln Park. What is it with that?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. Devonshire once visited schools for football.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you lose your player, 20 points a game, that the coach doesn't look as good.
And the Shannon's good too.
Yes.
They beat They're no. They have 6-7 posts.
And then North Catholic moves in the number 2 spot after beating Seton LaSalle. Deer Lakes and Aliquippa drops the 5th. In 2A, it's Olsh, Sarah Catholic, California Summit Academy, and Sewickley Academy. In 1A, it's Cornell, Vincentian, Monessen, Nazareth Prep, and Union. That's Union Newcastle. And for the girls, North Allegheny, number 1, undefeated, followed by Norwin, Peters Township, Bethel Park, and Fox Chapel. Big matchup tonight, North Allegheny at Norwin. In 5A, it's 18-0 Chartiers Valley, followed by Oakland Catholic, Gateway. Franklin Regional in at number 4. They're beating March twice this year. Penn Hills, Slip Rock High School lost to Hickory. They dropped down to number 5,
they
13
beat that
and
team
4.
by 39 4 weeks ago.
And they get beat 52-42.
Yeah. Surprise.
And in 4A, North Catholic remains on top, followed by Blackhawk, Central Valley, Southmore, and Freeport. A game we did last night. You'll be able to watch an unusual game. Freeport played so well in the first half, took a 28-27 lead, and then boom, they switched to that 1-3-1 zone. Forced 7 straight turnovers, jumped out. Well, I think it was an Alberta 19-0 run.
Like this too happened so quickly,
and outscored them 44-9 in the second half.
I want to see that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to put that film on for an opponent because Freeport's going to see a 1-3-1. They're not going to see, man, somebody's going to say, "Woo, let's play that trap against them."
See how that works.
Yes.
3A, Shady Side Academy, followed by Neshannock, Carleton, Washington, and South Park. And 2A, Bishop Canavan, Brentwood, Laurel, Olsh, and Sarah Catholic. And in 1A, West Green, Greensburg Central Catholic, Rochester, Clareton, and Avella. Now, let's go to our stories of the week. You know what the story is. You know what's coming up this weekend. It's the Super Bowl, the L.A. Rams and New England Patriots. The last time the L.A. Rams played in the Super Bowl was against the Steelers, 1981. The Steelers' final Super Bowl under Noel, 31-19. And there was a Butler touch there. Rams center, Butler's Rich Saul passed away 5 years ago. He was also a co-captain that day. And for the Steelers, their special teams coach, Butler's Paul Red Ewing.
It's pretty sweet to have many games in the Super Bowl have Western Pennsylvania ties.
Yes.
There's been a million. There's been some great football players come out of this area.
So we see the Rams with 24-year-old Jared Goff and the running backs Todd Gurley, whether his knee's healthy or not, but they still have C.J. Anderson and Brandon Cooks, who played in the Super Bowl last year for the Pats. Then you have Brady and a trio of running backs and Burkhead and, of course, Edelman and Gronk. I think this might be the Gronk's last game. Here's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to give you some matchups, and you tell me who has the advantage before we get to picking the winner. Let's go Rams run game versus New England run defense. Who has the advantage?
New England does, and they're going to shut down the run. You know, that's what Belichick does. Picks out the first thing that they're going to try to do, and he's going to make Goff beat him. And that's what I think is going to happen. So I'll give the edge to New England.
Yeah, they've been they're a funny team. Early in the year, you watch their defense and you go, "Oh man!" But about week 10 or 11, they start screwing it tighter, and next thing you know, you can't run.
They've shut down the Chiefs and the Chargers in the run game.
So
I would agree with you there. You're same thing.
I think. Yeah.
All right, let's go. New England run game versus the Ram run defense. Advantage.
If New England is playing to run the football to win, they're going to lose. Brady's going to have to win this game. They're going to come. Rams the last 2 weeks have shut down, and New Orleans was number one.
Yeah,
held them to 50 yards.
Kamara and the dude
Ingram,
from Alabama together. That's a good running tandem.
Well, I see this as even myself for this reason. I don't think you can run interior with Sue and Aaron McDonald in there, but you can run the edges, and the Rams linebackers are a little bit smaller. That's an advantage for Gronk blocking on the edge.
They're susceptible. I've been reading. They give up yards to the tight end too.
Right, and Gronk was just a monster blocking last week.
They said they put 6 new plays in that morning. One of them was that streak to Gronk, the big one late.
Think of that.
The morning of.
Think of that. Put in plays in the morning of the game run.
Eddie.
You think that might be Brady?
Hey,
I can see them trying to do that with Joe Gilliam or Terry Bradshaw. Bradshaw been saying,
forget
what's
about
that play
it.
again?
What Favre say? What's that nickel? What's that nickel thing you got?
Rams passing versus New England pass defense. I'm going advantage Rams.
So am I.
Yeah.
So am I. And especially because they're going to try to stop the run, and LA does all play action.
Now, how about Goff? What do you think? You know Belichick's
pressure gets him.
Record
He's going to see so many different looks. He's 26
now, here's
and
what they say he does. He gets to the line early. So McVay tells him what it's going to be because it shuts off at 14.
It's the truth.
There's going to be some moving after 14.
A lot of movement.
They disguise things so well.
Don't you think?
Yes. Lots of you get that around the head.
He'll be confused like he played for Zorro.
That's why they're going to try to run the football. That's why they're going to try to do it.
Don't forget, Belichick's under Parcells was the defense coordinator in Super Bowls.
Yeah, he beat him twice. He got 2 more.
New England pass offense versus the Rams pass defense.
I'll take New England on that one.
New England
sure.
too.
That's the biggest discrepancy.
And weakness there for the Rams once again, their linebackers.
No, their biggest. Gronk could have a big game over the middle, no question.
His thing's 50.5, by the way.
And Aaron Donald has a 20.5 sacks. But here's the thing: New England 3-step drop, boom.
Yeah, like Calvin says, you can't
Out
get
of the ball.
to him. He gets it out
So-
before.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how fast you get there. He'll get it out faster.
Special teams, who do you favor? I hear Zerdline, his left foot was in a boot, and you have Goskowski for New England. I think it's even in the kicking game.
Well, I would say New England because the Devil's over there. I have no idea how many
Somehow it
kicks.
bounces
I don't know how
out.
many kicks
Yeah.
he's going to miss, but it will be going straight. All of a sudden, turns right. I don't know how it happens.
I think overall
So when you
special
say
teams,
special teams too, you're looking mostly at the field goal kicker.
Well, punting, the whole thing. When it comes to
punting,
field goal kickers, it's even.
Rams got the best punter in the
Right,
NFL.
but New England does a tremendous job coverage.
Yeah,
And
Hector's
they think he has a thick. They like the distance on the field goal.
Sure, like a
How
really
about
can't
line
fall.
up for a 57 and not blinking? You're going to leave the
Not even
ball
a
on the
thought.
47-yard line.
But
Not
you
even
know,
a
even
thought.
though they say his left foot is in a boot, that's his plant foot.
Yeah, it would matter.
I think he's going to be okay. I really 2 weeks. If it was 1 week, I'd be worried. I think 2 weeks would be
Hey.
okay.
You're gonna
They'll shoot him up so fast. Yes.
All right, let's go to coaching. Sean McVay, 33, and Bill Belichick, 66. You know, they become friends. Belichick has texted him during the season, congratulating him on wins. McVay sought him out last year for advice, and
Sure.
but all that's out the window
Not
now.
this week. No, be no
Yeah, no
advice.
question.
So the
about it.
advantage
Oh,
He
Belichick.
likes
is
his
the
grandpa.
Belichick.
Belichick likes that. Like the grandpa. Belichick's dad knew his grandpa.
John McVay, who coached
Yeah,
the Giants.
yeah.
Now, New England, they're 11th Super Bowl, the 9th for Brady and Belichick. They're 5-3, and the winner will be.
I think I'm going to take New England.
I'm going to take New
Hey, a
England.
bit about McVay, real quick. He looks like a little guy, kind of like was a stat man or something. He was 4A Player of the Year in the state.
And he also had a good career in Miami, Ohio.
Yeah.
You know,
Didn't
He
he-
played against. He played against the kid from
Edelman.
Edelman.
Yeah, he did.
Didn't
Kent State.
Didn't he get a start under Gruden? Yeah.
I
Gruden gave
think
him
he
his
might
first
have. He
coaching
might
job.
have.
Just Gruden
Since you
gave
guys
Sean
both
Payton his
since
first
you guys both
coaching
know
job.
New England, I'll take
Take
New England
Rams.
too. No, I'll take New England.
Now, Takeo, you really think so?
I really don't know. I have no idea.
You have to pick one.
I said
No,
New
you
England.
pick
I said
New
New
England.
England.
You're
But
right.
I said,
I mean, that 3 points might matter.
but I don't care about if New England wins. But I don't hope they don't win by 3.
Rams defensive back, Nickel Roby Coleman, who made that blatant hit last week.
Yeah, he should just be quiet.
He said Brady looks old.
He looks old.
He's not. He's not.
Now,
the
you know
same
the first
quarterback he
touchdown's
used
going right to the
be.
guy in the slot that he's
Oh.
covering. Then Brady's going to be down there like he did at number
You
26.
think McVay went to him and said,
Yes,
You
after
can't
he did.
control.
Because he pulled it back.
I'm telling you guys.
But he
all
pulled
along.
it back.
There is nobody controlling anybody.
I
in
know,
the
but he
NFL.
pulled it back.
I know after he
"Yeah"?
said
You know McVay said something to him.
What are you?
No, he didn't.
doing?
No, he said
Oh, yeah, I
nothing.
see. I'll
He said
guarantee he
nothing to
did.
him.
I'll guarantee
He
he did.
talks like a 33-year-old guy.
Here, is there any interest in the Super Bowl? $4 billion will
How much?
be wagered.
$6
$4
billion.
billion.
I heard 6.
$4 billion.
How much
will
on
be wagered.
commercials?
Some of that's
How about
yours.
that commercial?
Yeah,
Forget about that.
Those commercials are great.
That is the only time. George knows. I watch no commercials.
Yeah.
Super Bowl Sunday, I watch the commercials.
Hey, finally, AWOL Antonio Brown, pictured in a 49er uniform. And here, the players, Cam Hayward, Pouncey, Ben, what is this? We love him. This the guy quit on you.
It's so different.
With this love fest.
It's so different.
This is why you say that there's a losing culture in there. And they say the Steelers want to patch us up, or Tomlin's going to go and talk to him. The fact that Tomlin's going to go and talk to him, the advantage is all with Antonio. And you bring him back, you tell me the same thing's not going to happen.
We need more talk on this one because I saw New England take Josh Gordon and say they're going to straighten him out.
But they didn't have a locker room problem with him.
Who
They
didn't?
New England didn't have a problem with Gordon in the locker
So it was okay
room.
for him to come in and get high every day. It was okay. Nobody said
Who
anything.
said he was getting high every day?
It's proven.
Albert, totally different problem.
No,
not
it's-
even related. They're not even related.
My bag of tricks with Belichick's
that-
out there.
That's it. We run out of time. We'll see you next week.